It's really difficult to change human behavior. It's difficult because our behavior is set, our habits are formed. And a lot of people try to change their behavior, try and change their habits, try and use their willpower to create a change in their life. But this doesn't necessarily work. And in this video, we're going to talk about why and a couple of alternatives that maybe you can try out on your own to create some changes in behavior. Hey guys, this is Dan Williams here at Range of Motion. We are launching Range of Motion Nutrition Coaching in January 2019. Stay tuned for details. If you're interested, you can contact me on dan@rangeofmotion.net.au. So let's talk about the Chopsticks Diet. What is this? Why does it work? Well, when we make decisions in our life, we try and make a decision whether we should go down path A or path B. A good way of making this decision is to work out which of these two paths is going to lead us towards some sort of end result, which is going to lead us to our outcome goal, to where we want to get to. So from a nutrition point of view, if we want to change the composition of our body to improve our health, we can then ask ourselves, should I A, eat this Mars bar, or B, eat this piece of fruit as a snack? And it becomes very easy to decide which to do. So the decision is easy, or at least simple, but what is not easy is consistently making the decisions which are going to lead you to that outcome. Because maybe the first decision that you make every day is going to be the healthy one. Maybe the second will. But the research actually tells us that every day we make up to 200 food choices. Now these may be really minor choices, or they may be big choices and big decisions. Throughout the process of making these 200 decisions every day, we start to fatigue our willpower. If we consistently choose the things which are going to lead us towards our process goal, if these things aren't habits, we can fatigue that willpower muscle. We can fatigue that willpower muscle, and eventually it will be so fatigued that we go for the easy, the convenient choice, as opposed to going for the healthy choice. So how can we turn this to our advantage? How can we use this knowledge to improve how healthy we are able to eat? Well, what we can do is, instead of trying to rely on our willpower, on making the easy choices, the easy decisions, we can actually tweak and modify our environment to make it easier to do the healthy choices than the unhealthy choices. And the title of this video, the Chopsticks Diet, is one example of doing just that. So if you force yourself only to eat with chopsticks, it will slow down how quickly you can eat, which will give more chance for those hunger hormones in our body to be released to tell us that we're no longer hungry and that we're now full, satisfied, and don't need to eat anymore. There are heaps of examples of this. So you can eat off a smaller plate because our mind perceives plate size as a constant. And we can eat a full plate of food off a massive plate, or a full plate of food off a smaller plate, and we'll feel just as satisfied after each, because psychologically speaking, we've eaten a full plate of food. Other examples of this: if you can see things, if you're aware of things, you're probably going to go and eat them. So if you're keeping unhealthy food in the house, keep it in an opaque container that you can't see into. If you're keeping healthier food in the house, keep it in a clear container so you can see into it. Maybe you want to reduce how much alcohol you're drinking. We perceive volume of fluid based on the height of that fluid, not based on how wide it is, on the width of that fluid. So if you're drinking out of a narrow, tall glass, you'll perceive yourself as drinking more than if you drink out of a short, wide glass. So if you're trying to cut down how much alcohol you're drinking, drink it out of a narrow, tall glass. You'll perceive that you've had more. By the same token, we flip this around. If you want to increase how much water you're drinking, do the exact opposite. Drink it out of a short, fat glass, because that way you'll be drinking more water, because your perception will be that you haven't drunk as much. Maybe you find yourself snacking on foods because they're within easy reach. Modify your environment by putting those foods somewhere inconvenient, somewhere out of the way. It's a really good story of a lady who had a safe in her office. Someone broke into her office, into the safe, expecting to find hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, priceless art and jewels, and what they found in there was a chocolate bar. Because what she'd done is she'd kept this chocolate bar in the safe. So there were steps that had to be taken before she was able to go and eat that chocolate bar. And what they found, and what the research has shown, is that if you have these steps in between where you are now and where you're trying to get to, the more steps you have there, the more difficult it makes it to undertake that behavior, the less likely you are to undertake that behavior. So, summary here. Increase the number of steps it takes to get to the behaviors that you're trying to get rid of, the behaviors you're trying to remove, the behaviors you're trying to avoid. And reduce the number of steps it takes to get towards the behaviors that you're trying to promote. Maybe you want to do more exercise. You want to get up in the morning and exercise. There's a phenomenon called the gym clothes effect. And it shows that by sleeping in the clothes you're intending to go to the gym in the next morning, you are 300% more likely to end up going to the gym. So guys, don't try and change your behaviors. The willpower muscle fatigues quickly. Instead, change your environment. Make it easier to do the behaviors that you want to do than it is not to do them. Make it more difficult to do the behaviors that you're trying to avoid, the habits you're trying to change. Okay guys, hope this helps. Again, Range of Motion Nutrition Coaching launches January 2019. If you'd like some more details, a basic overview, rangeofmotion.net.au/nutrition. And as always, please comment below if you have any thoughts or questions. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can get me on my email, which is dan@rangeofmotion.net.au. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.